What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building. I know this is not the same place we usually do videos, but I'm in a bit of a rush though. I wanted to break down Kai France versus Brandon Moreno. Phenomenal fight in the bantamweight. I was about to say bantamweight, flyweight division for the interim title to see who's gonna fight Figgy next. And this fight, I've been so back and forth with it. Like, you know, when I first saw the fight announced, actually, I was like, oh, Moreno all day. Then I started thinking, I was like, and I saw more people giving really good, early thoughts on why Kai would win. And I was like, I don't know, y'all. I don't see it. Then I started thinking. And then I ended up watching the first fight. And man, I've switched. I flopped again. So, I kind of switched my pick, but I'll talk more about that. Man, the story of this fight's a simple rematch. Moreno's obviously the former champion. Kai France has been on a insane 3-fight win streak. Well, more or less the last 2 wins have been nuts. But he's just on a rise, and he wants to get that get back. And we all know the story of a rematch, and I've talked about this before, y'all. It's simple, right? To me personally, right? Your job as the guy that won the first fight is to remind the other guy why you didn't win the first time and why nothing has changed and why I was born better than you and why you were not born better than me. But and the job of the guy coming into the rematch, coming off a loss in that rematch or in the first fight, his job is to remind him things are different and you have changed or I have changed. And I'm gonna whoop you. And that's what it comes down to, for real talk. Like, in terms of the mentality, like, you just see it. Like, perfect example of a guy that went 2-0 over his opponent. I like Quinta versus Kevin Lee. I always bring it up. It's kind of one of my favorite examples because it's so weird how nothing changed because there was so much time in between both of those fights. It was like 6 years, some weird. And first fight, it was competitive, but obviously Al had a huge boxing advantage, and the striking wasn't as close as it was in the second fight. And he knocked Kevin Lee down, and then obviously Kevin had his moments, right? Kevin's always had his moments against Al, but Al was just he just had his number, and he was just a perfect anti-wrestler for Kevin, just to beat him. And he was able to beat him. So they run it back. Kevin's coming off one of his greatest wins of all time against Edson Barboza. And it's looking like Kevin's going to win. It's looking like the gods have said it. Kevin's supposed to win this. And Kevin looked great, in my opinion, for the first at least 3 rounds. I thought he did awesome. The first round was really close. It's the spinning back fist or whatever, but I'll make this short. There's a moment in the 5th round where Al is lighting Kevin up, and he tells him to his face. Tells him straight to his fucking face. Same old fucking Al. and you could see in Kevin's eyes, like, and I love Kevin. Kevin's my guy. So it hurts me to say this, but he could see, he was like, man, like, nothing's fucking changed. This guy's just better than me. I know Kevin felt like he won that fight, and it was close, but it is what it is. And it can go vice versa, right? Conor versus Dustin, right? Conor won the first fight, and Dustin never let that affect his brain going into that second fight. Even though it was no real trash talk, but he never let that affect him. He overcame it and knew that we're different. This is a different time, and it's comeback season. So we're going to see what Kai does against Moreno. In terms of the stats, obviously Moreno is probably the number 1 contender in the division. Yeah, he's number... No, my bad. He is number 1, and Kai France is number 2. That's fucking beautiful. 1 and 2 going at it. He comes with a record of 19-6 and 2 for Moreno, so 2 draws, which is crazy to see. Fights out of Mexico, and he's not fighting out of Mexico. Actually, he's fighting out of, I think, is it Colorado? I think is that the place now? Age 28. Height of 5'7" and reaches 70. Kai France, 24-9, is fighting out of New Zealand, Auckland. Age 29, a height of 5'4", and reaches 65.5. So, obviously, in my opinion, things that, I guess that will point out to me is the reach and the height and the youth of Moreno. And just, the winning experience of someone like Moreno. He knows how to win, right? Against high level competition, and he's always done that in his career. I might not be the biggest Moreno fan of all time, but man, the guy's good. Like I felt like Moreno, when he was like underrated, he actually was like hella good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when a lot of people weren't talking about him and like they just didn't give him his credit, and then when he fought fucking Figgy, he earned his credit, which is true, but he's really underrated. He really is. And he just knows how to win against high-level competition. Kai France, like, I don't know what happened, but, like, after that, who was it? Was it the Moreno loss? No. The Brandon Royval loss. After that one, it was completely different for him, you know? Like, he just was a different dude. Like, he hasn't been as sloppy yet. I was kind of done with him after Royval, you know, but he's made a good comeback. So he's gotten a lot better since that fight. But Moreno has always just been consistently really great. You know what I'm saying? He's just a good fighter. I might not be the biggest fan of him, and I'm happy that Figgy beat him in the trilogy, but he's a good fighter, and you can't take that away from him. And the resumes don't even compare. I know Kai France got some really good wins, but like, you look at the guys they've competed against. You know, he fucking fought Figueiredo. You know, he obviously lost the last one, but he fought Figueiredo 3 times. Beat Brandon Royval, a guy that has a win over Kai France. Obviously beat Jussier Formiga, beat Kai France. Went to a draw with Askarov. I thought he won that, but it is what it is. It's a draw. And you can just see the guys he's competed against. Pantoja, fucking Sergio Pettis. He has a win over Destin Ortiz, Ryan Benoit. You know, these are Louis Smolka. Obviously, he did fight fucking, what's his name, Pantoja twice, but that was, I think, tough. But yeah, like, he's fought so many guys that are pretty decent. And he, you know, like, he's just always been consistently really good. And the resumes aren't the same. He has a good resume, but the last two are really probably his best ones. But beat Askarov, which is an insane performance. Beat Cody Garbrandt, Bontiero, and lost to Royval. Beat Tyson Nam, obviously lost to Brandon Moreno. Beat Mark Del Rosa, Paiva, split decision. So you see, like, and then he fought a bunch of interesting talent, like 12-7, 13-7. These are guys at WLF or Glory Heroes, like, just not really good competition. He lost to Pantoja at Tough, like, again, a lot of 8-6, 9-6, 10-6. Like, he has that loss to Mark Striegel where he got choked out. But the form that he's been on right now, though, is completely different. He looks like a different man. He looks possessed to go get that world title. Now, okay, let's talk about the first fight. What I saw in the first fight, I felt like he won the first round. Kai France. He won the first round. He looked really good. The power of Kai was really hurting Moreno. And it wasn't like the output completely changed. It was the intensity of Kai Kar's output. And obviously Moreno was building. But that first round was beautiful for Kai Kar. He landed beautiful overhands. You just landing shots. And that's something that's going to hurt Moreno, I feel like. And I'll talk more about that. But in those next 2 rounds, fucking Moreno started lighting him up, walking him down, just like, there's this moment, if you rewatch the fight, there's this moment in the 3rd round, he's just, he's kind of staring at him, just talking shit. But he just outworked him, outclassed him. The 1-2 high, like, I'm telling you, like, Moreno, before he got the title shot, I don't know, he looked, he was better. I'm sorry. And I'll talk about how I feel about his current form. But man, he was so good. Like, when I watched that, that run to the fucking title, he was so good. Obviously, like, I'll talk more about it later, but he put a shutout performance in those next 2 rounds over Kai. Kai was rocking white shorts. It became bloody shorts after that fight. He messed him up, broke his nose. I don't know if he broke his nose, but he had him leaking. And Moreno he was the better boxer. He taught him how to box. He's the better striker overall. And that's the thing. Like, I feel like this is going to take place on the feet. Obviously, Moreno should incorporate his grappling, which is another underrated part of his game. Is the guy has really good grappling, but yeah. So, okay, their most recent fights. I mean, Kai beating Askarov, that was impressive. The output. He lost the first round, but he kind of almost did what Moreno did to him, as he came back with output and put it on Askarov and beat him in those next two following rounds, and just put a performance of a lifetime. I never thought in a million years you'd be able to do that. It was insane. Like I was in shock. I was like, wow, he actually did that. He won that fight, and he looked pretty good. So good on him. And then Moreno. Obviously, I predicted that Figgy would teach him some respect in the trilogy. And I know some people felt like it was a robbery or whatever, and I don't agree with that. It was a close fight. Obviously, I gave Figgy the first, the third, and obviously the fifth round. It was a good fight. They went back and forth. But one thing I've noticed, and like I said, I'm gonna say it like this. Moreno's run from the first title fight and the second fight, he was on peak form. Some of the best I've ever seen him from. Like, let me look. Like, I'll look at the fight that I'm thinking of from. Basically, from the Askarov fight to the second Davis and Figueiredo fight, he was on peak form. Peak form. Like, he looked amazing. That third fight over Figueiredo, to me, it showed me something about Moreno. Is that the guy, I think he was, I don't know, he became arrogant or something like that. Or he overlooked Figgy. It was insane how he fought Figgy in that third fight. He fought literally the dumbest fight of all time. Like, when you really watch that fight and you watch a bunch of Moreno fights and you know how he fights, you watch, okay, all you got to do is watch the first two Figgy fights, and then you watch that third one and you're like, he didn't even wrestle. He didn't even like I know he shot a takedown in that fifth round, but he didn't even do it in the first or in the second. Like, he wanted to try and box it out with Figgy. Like, he wanted to be in the pocket and just box it out. And he took unnecessary damage, just trying to be, like, almost prideful and try to win a certain way. And it costed him. I don't know if he respects Kai. I don't know if he's going to fight the smartest fight here. I've been noticing he's been training with, I forgot the guy's name, but he's the same boxing coach for Arman Sarukin. I'll put his picture up. But yeah, he's been training with him. I don't know if he's going to just try to do the same thing and try to outbox Kai. But and I'm not going to lie, he did do it the first time, so why can't he do it the second time? But I don't know what it is to me. But I'm seeing just a different guy in Moreno. He just doesn't seem mentally like he's fighting the smartest strategy. Now, obviously, he's left his team. But James Krause, right? Like, can I trust James Krause? I thought James Krause maybe could help Carl Roberson. Now, I didn't pick Carl Roberson, but I thought I had some hope. Maybe like James Krause can make Carl Roberson a better fighter. And what did Carl Roberson do? He went back to his normal self. James Krause ain't fighting with Brandon Moreno. If Brandon Moreno doesn't fix, I don't know if it's his ego or what happened, but it was weird. And he's always done this thing, like, you know, when he like boxing, like, you know, stuff like that. Like, he's always done stuff like that. But he can't play these games with Kai. And I don't know what it is, y'all. I think Kai's going to win. I don't know what it is. It's possessed me to think. Like, and if I'm being honest, if he doesn't attack the legs of Moreno, which are there, and Moreno doesn't fix that issue because he got leg kicked to death against Figgy, and if he just doesn't gas out, and if he can keep the intensity and the momentum going, he can win this fucking fight. He really can. Like, I know I might sound crazy, but he can. And last time I checked, Moreno got fucking dropped bad against Figgy. Now, the fight happened a while back. Like, it was like 5 months ago, but he got hurt. Kai hasn't got hurt in both of his fights. I think I'm seeing a change in the guard. That's what I'm thinking. And I don't want to see a fourth fight with Figueiredo. I want to see Kai fight Figgy. And it just feels like, I could be wrong here, but it just feels like the universe is telling me Kai's going to fight Figgy. Moreno ain't. I don't know why. It's just a gut feeling I got. Because Moreno is just better than Kai in every aspect of the sport besides, I guess, kicking. But, like, or maybe leg kicks only, because Moreno got a pretty good high kick. But Moreno, if he fights a smart strategy, if he takes him down, mixes his strikes, he can win this fight. But it just, for some odd reason, I just think Kai is gonna fight an egotistical Moreno, one. And I think Kai's gonna chop him down. And I'm actually gonna pick Kai by 4th round TKO, and I think he gets it back in blood. He gets it back in blood. He will get his revenge. So I'm picking Kai Kara-France by 4th round TKO. Moreno's obviously super tough, and he might just not get finished. But yeah, I'm rocking with Kai here. I know it's crazy, but I got Kai Kara-France over Moreno. But hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Obviously, go follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter. Like, comment, and share the video. Love y'all, and goodbye.